The internet is buzzing. Fans are arguing nonstop, and the latest developments between Martell Holt and Arionne Curry have left everyone shocked, confused, and questioning everything about what's real and what's storyline. Today, we're breaking it all down. The infamous fiancé moment that sent social media into chaos, cast reactions from Marcel Scott, Leticia Scott, Kimmy Scott, Marie Scott, and even insights from Tasha Kay's earlier interviews. We'll talk about Aryenne's mental health, fan theories, and why producers might be soft-launching her into the show. Stick around until the very end, because the calm Martell reaction you're about to see has left fans more curious than ever. Everything started with one small moment that nobody could ignore. Fans began speculating that Martell Holt and Arionne Curry might actually be engaged. Initially, many brushed it off as typical internet rumors, fueled by years of drama and back-and-forth storylines. But then, the show itself delivered what many are calling a bombshell moment. During a tense sit-down intended to address prior interviews and ongoing drama, Marcel Scott casually said to Martell, "Talk to your fiancé." One word. That was it, but the impact? Massive. The fandom immediately exploded. Social media went into overdrive. Clips were paused, replayed, shared, and dissected frame by frame. Comments poured in from all directions. People were asking, debating, and speculating like never before. And here's the kicker. Martell didn't deny it. He didn't flinch, he didn't look confused, and he didn't correct Marcel in any way. For many viewers, that moment alone felt like confirmation that something real, something bigger than a storyline, might be happening. And just like that, the internet was alive with speculation. Now, let's talk about Marcel Scott's role in all of this, because it's more significant than many people realize. The sit-down between Marcel and Martell wasn't just a casual chat. It was meant to clear the air and address the tension caused by a previous interview that had stirred controversy among the cast. When Marcel mentioned Arionne Curry and called her Martell's fiancé, he wasn't just speaking offhandedly. He was sending a clear message, not just to Martell, but to the entire cast and, by extension, the audience. Marcel didn't question Martell's truthfulness. He didn't claim the interview was false. All he said was, "Don't speak on me." That one line, delivered in Marcel's calm, composed manner, signaled that he is tired of having his name dragged into unnecessary drama. Fans immediately noticed the change in energy. Marcel has always been playful and humorous, even when addressing serious issues. But in this moment, his tone was firm, deliberate, and final. It was clear that he had reached the end of his patience, and many viewers felt that this was a turning point in how the cast was handling Martell's ongoing drama. As if that moment wasn't enough, Leticia Scott went live shortly after the episode aired and added even more clarity to the situation. She didn't hold back, and she didn't sugarcoat. Leticia confirmed that Marcel handled the conversation perfectly, standing his ground while remaining composed and respectful. She emphasized that repeated conversations with Martell rarely lead to change. For those of you who have followed the series for years, you know this pattern. Martell apologizes, promises improvement, and yet the same issues resurface season after season. Leticia's live also gave fans insight into her own mindset. She wants peace, not chaos. She wants joy, not conflict. She wants stability, not ongoing drama. She even hinted that she hopes Marcel is done trying to repair a friendship with Martell, suggesting that the divide between these two families may be deeper than anyone realizes. Her live provided a stark contrast to Martell's seemingly endless entanglement and drama, and helped fans see which cast members are truly prioritizing their well-being and happiness over being pulled into chaos. One of the biggest takeaways from all of this is the stark contrast between Martell and the other cast members. While Martell continues to be at the center of drama, other couples like Kimmy and Marie Scott, and even Leticia are focusing on stability, love, and celebration. Leticia's comments about their anniversary trip, for instance, highlight how much effort the other couples are putting into enjoying life, creating memories, and keeping conflict at bay. The trip was reportedly peaceful, full of laughter, and free of any tension. Fans immediately noticed this difference. While everyone else seems to prioritize joy and calm energy, Martell continually finds himself, or allows himself to be involved in situations that bring storms into the group. That contrast has fueled ongoing fan frustration and debates online. People are asking, why is Martell still tied to chaos when the rest of the cast is actively trying to move past it? Another layer to this story is Arionne Curry's mental state. According to sources, Aryen has been stressed and overwhelmed, dealing with public scrutiny and the backlash following interviews and social media debates. While some fans have dismissed her situation, it's important to remember she is a human being, experiencing real stress and anxiety. Martell has reportedly indicated that Aryen will always be a part of his life as they share a child together, and that he wants fans to know they are on good terms. Adding another dimension, fans began revisiting Tasha Kay's old interviews from years ago. In those interviews, Tasha Kay claimed to know details about Martell and Aryen's relationship that people at the time found hard to believe. Fast forward to today, and many viewers are seeing a pattern that aligns with what she said, and it's reigniting debates about whether the show is finally showing the truth Tasha Kay exposed years ago. Clips are being shared, timelines compared, and dots connected by fans determined to uncover the reality behind the show's storylines. Here's where things get really interesting. This season, Aryen's name is being mentioned more frequently than in the past 3 seasons combined. Every time her name comes up, the show trends, and the internet explodes with reactions. Fans believe producers may be soft-launching Aryen into the show, testing audience reactions before fully integrating her into storylines. This strategy is clever. Producers know that her name alone generates engagement, drama, and debate. If Aryen officially joins the cast, her presence could completely change dynamics between Martell, Melody, Cherie, and other cast members. Fans are already predicting intense reactions, arguing over how Melody would handle being on screen with Aryen, and debating whether it would be respectful or chaotic. Either way, the anticipation is driving ratings and conversations, which is exactly what producers want. Fans are split into 3 main groups when it comes to this drama. These fans feel the engagement rumor is disrespectful. They argue that Martell should focus on healing, being a better father, and improving himself instead of stepping into a new public relationship that could create even more chaos. These viewers argue that Aryen deserves a voice after years of being discussed but never truly represented on the show. They want to hear her side of the story, understand her perspective, and see whether Martell has made promises or taken actions that were previously hidden. This group believes everything is orchestrated for ratings. They point to the calmness of Martell's demeanor, the timing of Marcel's fiancé comment, and the way the scene was filmed as evidence that producers carefully planned the moment to ignite discussion and boost engagement. Each viewpoint is strong and fueled by years of watching the show. The division among fans highlights why this storyline has captured so much attention. It touches on relationships, drama, and questions about what is real versus what is produced for television. One of the most talked about aspects of this story is Martell's behavior during the fiancé moment. Typically, Martell reacts quickly, defensively, or emotionally when confronted, especially in situations involving public scrutiny. But this time, he remained unusually calm, relaxed, and collected. Fans immediately noticed that his body language suggested he was expecting the comment, not surprised by it. That reaction has led many viewers to believe that the engagement might be real, or at least pre-approved as part of a storyline, and that Martell is deliberately controlling how he is perceived. Additionally, Martell has repeatedly emphasized that he wants peace, but only as long as everyone else wants peace. That statement has been interpreted by fans as both a warning and a reflection of his pattern: calm when things go his way, but potentially explosive when provoked. This repeated behavior, observed over multiple seasons, makes fans question whether the engagement rumor is genuine or yet another dramatic arc designed to keep Martell at the center of attention. As expected, social media exploded after the episode aired. Fans immediately began debating, arguing, and taking sides. Comments ranged from, "This is disrespectful to Melody Cherie," to "Aryen deserves a voice after all these years." Discussions about the potential impact on the children, the long-term implications for cast dynamics, and the mental health of those involved became widespread. Clips of the fiancé moment went viral, and fan theories multiplied by the hour. Some believe producers orchestrated the moment, while others insisted it is authentic. Either way, the tension online mirrors the tension on the show, keeping viewers engaged and hungry for the next episode. However, it all began when Tasha Kay dropped a bombshell that sent shockwaves across social media platforms. She claimed that Martell allegedly filmed his wife, Melody, during a private, intimate moment, and then used that footage to exert control over her or intimidate her in some way. Whether the video was ever shared publicly or not isn't entirely clear, but the mere suggestion ignited a frenzy online. Fans and viewers alike were horrified, not because of a typical reality TV feud, but because this crossed a line into something dark and deeply personal. It sparked debates about trust, consent, and the kind of behavior that should or should not be tolerated, especially from someone who once cultivated a public image of charm, charisma, and confidence. Martell Holt has, for years, carefully curated an image of being smooth, confident, and in control. On the surface, he presents himself as a charming, capable, and sometimes even larger-than-life figure. But beneath this polished exterior, there has always been a pattern of chaotic behavior that fans, insiders, and critics have quietly noted. While many initially admired his charisma, over time cracks began to show. There were small incidents that suggested manipulative tendencies, arguments with co-stars, and episodes of drama that went beyond the usual reality TV theatrics. This particular allegation, however, felt different. It wasn't just another headline. It felt deeply personal and unnerving. What intensified the backlash was Martell's reaction. Instead of apologizing or acknowledging any wrongdoing, he laughed it off. He made jokes about the situation and even went so far as to mock Melody's appearance in court, ridiculing her for showing up composed, professional, and dignified. To many, that moment was telling. Martell wasn't going to take responsibility anytime soon. He chose arrogance, deflection, and public mockery as his tools, which only fueled the outrage. Fans began dissecting every interview, clip, and social media post, trying to understand how someone could respond so dismissively to such serious allegations. The drama escalated further in what fans now refer to as the infamous courthouse elevator incident. Martell, Melody, and Arionne found themselves trapped in a confined space under the watchful eyes of security. Tension was palpable. It was in this small, high-stakes environment that Arionne seized the opportunity to throw pointed shade at Melody. She loudly reminded Melody that she was connected to someone else's husband's family, a remark that felt not just provocative, but calculated and cruel. This moment was particularly significant because Arionne has spent years publicly denying that she was the side piece or a source of conflict within the show. Yet here she was, seemingly confirming the exact narrative fans had suspected, provoking Melody in a way that was difficult to ignore. What stood out, however, was Melody's response, or rather her lack of a response. She remained calm, poised, and strong, refusing to engage in a back and forth of insults or drama. Her silence was louder than any words could be, exposing the desperation, pettiness, and instability behind Arionne's remarks and Martell's dismissive smirk. To many fans, this moment encapsulated the entire saga. Martell and Arionne thrive on noise and chaos, but Melody embodies dignity, strength, and restraint. As more details about Martell and Arionne's actions emerged, it became increasingly clear that this wasn't an isolated incident. It was part of a recurring pattern. Martell has faced repeated accusations of refusing to take responsibility for his actions, manipulating those around him, and spinning stories to suit his narrative. Arguments with other cast members, disrespectful comments toward Melody, and ongoing disputes all seem to follow a familiar cycle. Drama escalates, Martell deflects, and silence or passivity from others is interpreted as complicity. For other cast members, this cycle created a tense environment on set. Many sought to distance themselves from Martell, fearing that their reputations could be damaged by association. Meanwhile, Arionne's reputation took a significant hit. Fans accused her of enabling Martell, benefiting from the perks of his attention and presence while ignoring or even exacerbating the harm being caused to Melody. The elevator incident alone was dissected endlessly, with viewers interpreting Arianne's remarks as evidence of her willingness to thrive on Melody's discomfort. Attempts to defend herself on social media only seemed to fuel the controversy, further entrenching public opinion against her. Behind the scenes, producers reportedly faced immense pressure to navigate this scandal. Reality TV thrives on conflict, but this was a scenario that threatened the credibility and integrity of the entire show. Filming became increasingly difficult, with arguments reportedly escalating on set, alliances fracturing, and tension building with each passing episode. Martell was no longer merely a source of entertainment. He had become a liability. Adding fuel to the fire, rumors swirled regarding Martell's potential legal troubles. Whispers of government probes into his finances circulated online, along with speculation about lawsuits or investigations related to the alleged private footage. Some reports suggested Melody's legal team was actively gathering evidence of intimidation or privacy violations, while other sources claimed business partners were severing ties to protect their own financial interests. In this context, the scandal ceased to be just a story. It became a full-blown unraveling of both a personal and public persona, with real-world consequences looming in the background. Public perception shifted dramatically. Martell's carefully constructed image of charm, charisma, and control lay in ruins. He went from a respected reality TV figure to a public villain almost overnight. Social media was relentless. Memes mocked his arrogance, clips of interviews went viral with sarcastic commentary, and the hashtag #ProtectMelody gained traction as fans rallied behind a woman who had endured years of disrespect with grace and dignity. Martell's refusal to acknowledge the seriousness of the allegations only deepened the divide. It no longer mattered whether the accusations were true or false. The issue was his dismissive, mocking response, which exposed a lack of self-awareness and empathy. Arianne, too, saw her public standing deteriorate. Once known simply for controversy and notoriety, she became a symbol of the enabler, the person who chose loyalty to chaos over morality and empathy. Together, Martell and Arianne represented everything fans despised: arrogance, cruelty, and the exploitation of others' pain for personal drama. The ripple effects extended far beyond Martell and Arianne. Producers and co-stars faced difficult decisions about how to proceed. Should Martell remain on the show and risk fan backlash, or should he be cut to preserve the show's integrity, even if it meant losing key storylines? Filming reportedly became a battleground of fractured alliances with tensions so thick it could be felt on camera. The saga revealed a man who spent years meticulously controlling his image, only to watch it collapse under the weight of repeated allegations, public scrutiny, and personal misjudgment. In a broader sense, this situation serves as a case study in how fragile public perception can be. Charisma, charm, and a polished exterior can only carry someone so far. When personal actions contradict public statements and moral expectations, audiences are quick to pass judgment. Every smirk, dismissive gesture, or misstep was analyzed in real time, providing a cautionary tale for anyone in the public eye about the limits of control and the power of reputation. So now, the question for the audience is, where do you stand? Do you believe Martell is the victim of gossip and speculation, or do you side with Melody, a woman who has consistently displayed grace, dignity, and resilience despite years of personal attacks? Do you view Arianne as a misunderstood partner, or as someone who knowingly contributed to the chaos, enabling behavior that caused harm? The reactions of the rest of the cast also play a significant role in how fans perceive the situation. Leticia Scott has made it clear that she is done tolerating repeated drama. Marcel Scott is protecting his peace and standing firm. Kimmy Scott focuses on enjoyment, love, and stability. Maurice Scott
quietly supports peace and unity. Melody Cherie is building her life separately and avoiding conflict. And then there's Martell, who is once again at the center of attention, whether he wants it to be or not. This difference in priorities creates a tension that fans can't ignore. They're watching the contrast between those who seek peace and those who continue to attract chaos. So, what's the truth? Are Martell Holt and Arionne Curry actually engaged? Is this another storyline crafted to generate drama and increase ratings? Or is there some combination of reality and performance at play? Fans continue to debate. The show continues to tease. The cast continues to react. And Martell's calm demeanor leaves viewers wondering whether he's controlling the narrative or simply rolling with what's happening. Arionne herself has remained silent online. No posts, no announcements, no confirmation, which only heightens the mystery. Whether her silence indicates authenticity or strategy is yet to be determined. And now, it's your turn. I want to know what you think. Are Martell and Arionne actually engaged? Did Marcel slip up intentionally, or was this part of a producer-driven storyline? Should Arionne join the show, or does it risk reigniting chaos? Is Martell attempting to present a calmer, more stable version of himself, or is this all for show? Comment below with your thoughts, because this is a conversation that is far from over. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next breakdown. With all this drama, tension, and mystery, Love and Marriage Huntsville is nowhere near done keeping us on the edge of our seats.